Good evening and welcome to Life Essentials, the Self Healer's Journey podcast. I am Bobby Benton.
I'm Felicia Berry.
And tonight, everybody, we are going to be talking about cognitive dissonance. So we are going to just jump right on in there. So, Felicia, I'm going to just share the definition and then I'll let you take it away, okay?
Okay.
All right, so cognitive dissonance, everyone. That happens when you hold two conflicting thoughts in your mind at the same time, like loving both hamburgers and cows. Or let me give you a better example. So you say, I want to be healthy and lose weight, but yet you're in line at the fast food restaurant every other day. So you saying you want to do one thing, and then you're justifying it or making excuses for why you're in the line. Like, oh, I'll start tomorrow. Oh, this is something I do. Me and like big girls. So, but that's what cognitive dissonance is. Smoking cigarettes causes cancer, but yet you still do it. So, Felicia is going to just share some insight and some stories along her journey, with different clients about cognitive dissonance. So, go ahead, Felicia.
Absolutely. Just as fresh as yesterday, I was working with a group of women that have been in intimate partner relationships that proven to be violent. And the question came up as to one, why doesn't she leave? And two, why is the return 7 to 11 times? And one of the group members said something that really rung out was the fact that she says, I don't know. I believe it's something in our brains. I believe it's the way our brains are wired that, we will continue to put ourselves at risk, that we would continue to put our children at risk. The children, they're seeing the screaming matches, the shouting matches, but again, they stay in those relationships. They return to those relationships. Even in one case, the individual kept it away from her parents and her brothers. She had brothers because she knew that they would go in on the attack. So essentially, she's protecting him. So the other women chimed in just to say that it's something there. So what I did was I reached into my library of what Bobby has shared over and over again. It's the representative that continues to bring you back. It's the representative that you're seeking. Like, where is he in all this? Where is he? I'm trying to find that representative. I remember, I'm going to run off the rails a little bit, but I remember when crack first came on the scene, crack cocaine. And crack cocaine was known for this high that was so amazing, and it was short-lived, and so they had to go back. They kept going back chasing that first high that they said that they would never get. And I'm so glad I was so analytical about that. Like, I'm not trying that. I already knew I was not a buyer. I mean, why would I go after something I'm not going to get back? I want to return here. So that when Bobby was talking about the cognitive dissonance, it makes sense. There's something within our anatomy. Okay, there's something in our upbringing that has us drawn to someone who is going to hurt us intentionally and continuously. And so hopefully we're going to unpack some things so that individuals can, one, be aware, and two, begin to make some decisions like, maybe this isn't good for me. And, I'm going to pull up the National Domestic Violence Hotline, and some of you can reach out tonight, as early as tonight, to begin the process of breaking free.
Yeah, and you said a lot, breaking free, because that's what you have to do when you have, like, if a person has been in that type of relationship. It's like your mind is you're it's just like a drug. You're being rewired. The trauma, the back and forth over and over again. It's like you're taking a hit each time mentally. So, like you said, we go back and forth trying to get the representative back, and the representative. This is like so the guy will keep or the woman. There are women who do this too.
Yeah.
They will keep the representative going for. I would say that's why I say take at least 6 months to a year to get to know somebody because they will wear that mask for a while to get you hooked. Once they see, and my favorite word, you're enamored by them, you're in love with them. Well, it's true. It's
Yeah,
like
it is.
once they see you're all goo goo gaga, and what they'll do is they'll start testing you. They'll start doing. Some people are subtle, like the covert people. They're subtle with it. They'll start playing these little games and see, dropping little things, little hints, or doing little things to see if you're picking up what they're putting down.
That's
And then
good.
the overt, the malignant, I can't say it.
I know.
That one, the one that's more out with it, that don't care, he can be the one that's more aggressive with you sooner. He not only is playing mind games, but he is getting up in your face. Like
Yeah.
sometimes, you have those, you've heard them, I've heard them, those stories where I've done PPOs for women. I'm like, how long you been with this dude? Girl, only 3 months.
They
Within
move that
3
fast.
months,
Yeah.
this man has started whooping on this woman. 3 months.
Yeah.
And the thing is that he came in strong the first few weeks. And so some of the women are like, oh my, and they go back and the women are like, well, I only been with him 3 months, but he's been torturing me for 3 years. But you may have only been with him for 3 months, but as we keep talking, we find out that they would go back and forth sometimes with them. Even after that 3 months of that love bombing, they're not adding in telling, well, okay, well, maybe 6 months later, I did sleep with him. Or I did whatever. They're not telling that. It slowly comes out as And then there are
That's a good
some that
point.
and people leave stuff out. So,
They do, one, possibly because of shame.
yep.
So we want to create a safe space for them. And when you were saying how a guy can begin, the physical in 3 months, it took me to human trafficking. He's like the gorilla pimp.
Yep.
I mean, he comes in full force.
Yeah.
Whereas the romantic one,
The covert one.
yeah, he'll do the roses and the dinners, and then he'll strike.
Yeah. And he'll start playing little games and stuff like that.
And dropping little
Yeah.
hints. Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll see it, but the cognitive dissonance comes in where like if you're rooted in yourself, certain things are wrong, but because you have fallen in love with the representative and you want what you want, you look past those things and you start making excuses for his behavior.
Yes.
So say for instance, if you and a guy living together and the representative was so sweet, whatever, y'all go to the supermarket together, everything's so wonderful, y'all cooking dinner together. And 6 months down the line, he coming in from work, taking all his aggression out on you.
Yeah.
Or he's just in a bad mood and just taking it out on you.
Yes.
And then he uses, oh well, work upset me. Or
Yeah.
did he finds reasons or whatever.
His boo didn't come through. That's all it was.
Yeah, but you the one about to catch the brunt of it because he didn't get what he wanted.
Right.
But the thing is after so long, what the woman does is, or sometimes the men, they start justifying, oh, he's upset because he had a bad day at work. It's okay. Oh, I didn't cook the food well enough, or
I didn't keep the kids quiet.
I didn't keep the kids quiet. They start making excuses for his
That's
behavior.
Good. That's great.
And the longer and some people don't even realize that they are in abusive relationships.
No.
They don't, because they're thinking, well, he didn't hit me, but he has mind warped her so bad
Right.
that she thinks everything bad is good and everything, well, I ain't even say good, they don't even think about it no more because they're like, okay, well, I'm here, and he's just upset, and I'm just gonna make it right and perfect for him, and
tiptoe around
him, things like that. And part of that is people wanting what they want. They're not even realizing that they're in the relationship, in that kind of relationship. And you said something too. If you grew up in a home where as a child your parent was that type of person, that's how that moth to the flame comes in.
You're looking for that.
That's your comfort, that's your normal, is that dysfunction. So those butterflies feelings, you're not looking at it as a red flag. You're looking at those butterflies as excitement, or that's just
That's
the
good.
feeling you had as a kid walking on eggshells and things were going on. And some people create chaos because they are so used to, they can't handle the calm.
It's quiet, even in the shelters that I'm in, when they come and there's rules and it's quiet and people are kind of nesting, they got to stir something up.
Yep.
They got to get something. They have to do conflict. They have to raise that barometer because they're used to chaos.
Yeah. And that's like kids, little kids are like that too sometimes. They're so used to environments. And someone just told me, 11-year-old just told me this out of her own mouth. She said, I was in an environment where it was so chaos, and now I'm in a quiet environment. She said, it's kind of weird. It's uncomfortable. So just getting used to the quiet at even that young age.
That 11?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awfully young. I mean, and she's in that stage where her brain is being developed and how it can truly impact what's important in growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just think if she remained in that chaotic environment where it would have led her, like where it would lead her
Yeah.
as she goes into adulthood and what type of people she would be with,
She's going to be attracted to her family, those that are similar to her family. Like when I used to go out, and if the guy held the chair and opened the door, I thought he was weak. It was something about the dude that didn't show up, blew the horn for me to come out to the car. That was all right. We good. And because I didn't grow up with that male figure, I didn't have anything to emulate. So I was kind of just out there winging it.
It's a lot of people that's out here winging it, and they go and they justify these bad things that are happening to them to calm it, to keep what they have going on. And sometimes like they're oblivious to even what is going on,
Yeah.
So, and that is the scary part, is so many people walking around on this earth that are just oblivious and blind to the pain and abuse that they are really walking in. It's just they're normal. So
I like that song, that little line in Kurt Franklin song, "Addicted to the Pain."
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was kind of intense. I'm saying this is a gospel song, but I mean, okay, let's like you so saved, but but addicted to the pain, and
Yeah.
that's what people become, addicted to the letdowns. I think somewhere along the line they're trying to master it. Oh, I'll get him this time. He'll change this time. I'll do better this time. And we become addicted to the pain. So when we get into these environments where it is calm, we have to reconfigure. We have to reprogram ourselves, our mind, the wire, like we said, the wire in our mind.
But it takes, so a lot of people don't want to be alone. They go from partner to partner to partner instead of taking time alone. You have to you have to have a alone period while you're healing.
Yes.
There has to be an alone period.
Yes.
And people are like, oh, but we're made for partnership. We're made for whatever. You're not, you have some things within yourself that you have to be alone to heal by yourself. Sit with yourself. That partner, the rest of your healing gonna come, but you got to get over this one little hump that can't nobody else deal with but you.
That's true.
So if you find yourself in that toxic cycle over and over again, you're like, dang, I keep doing the same thing because you ain't took time to be alone. You have, being alone is imperative at, like, I'm gonna say if you get into a breakup with somebody, the beginning phases of that breakup is where you need to be by yourself so you can do some self-inventory. You don't have outside voices, interactions, other people coming in, distorting stuff for you, where you just sitting and you crying and blubbering sometimes.
And it's
And
okay.
you
It's
have to
okay.
learn to be uncomfortable, like comfortable with the uncomfortable.
It's
You have
okay.
to. It's okay.
It's okay.
But jumping from
It's
person
okay
to
not to
person,
be okay. I
yeah,
love that.
it's
It's
okay
okay
not to be okay.
okay because
Yeah.
I remember I left one relationship or probably got dumped, but I like left
Not
better.
Felicia.
You know, I'm grieving, and I remember, you know, I was crying my eyes out, and I started dating someone else, like right after that, his replacement. And so I remember my mom was working on this window, and she was really struggling with it. And I remember I was crying and bubbling, and you know, and I will never forget what she said after the window fell on her. Okay.
Oh God.
She turned around and she said, "You didn't give yourself a chance to heal." And that stuck. That opened my eyes because I hadn't healed. I was trying to replace what I had lost. You cannot, he was not going to be him, but I didn't want to be alone. Like you said, when you liked marriage and you liked family, I liked relationship. I like going to the movies. I like sharing I was starting to miss that. Something was, that part of me was empty. And so I tried that replacement, and it's not good. You have to give yourself time. You have to grieve. It's a loss.
Yes,
It's a loss.
grief. You have to grieve. Have you? What's her name? Ella May. That song "Booed Up." So you never heard "Booed Up"?
No.
Oh, so "Booed Up." She talks about you know, she was in a relationship with this dude. They had a hot, heavy, intense relationship, and she says there's this one part where she says, "I'm trying to find somebody to replace the feelings that I get from you."
Oh my goodness, that was it right there. I gotta listen. Wow, it doesn't hurt me now, but it's good.
I'm gonna send you that song because myself, like, I was in a very toxic soul tie before, and that person, like, I was addicted to that person, and I was trying to like replace that.
Yeah.
And once I realized, I was like, the cognitive dissonance was there with me because I was trying to justify this toxicity because I wanted who I wanted. Like,
Yeah.
I like really loved this person, and I was like justifying like the foolishness that was going on. But then I stopped and I thought, like, I had to go back to my roots, my moral compass, and be like, what are you doing?
I like that.
If I was not rooted in like growing up with the morals and values that was poured into me, I probably would still be on that merry-go-round. But I knew I did not want that, did not deserve that. And I was like, this right here has to end because it's very toxic. This person doesn't love me. It was called unrequited love.
That sounds more familiar.
Yeah, unrequited love. So, and then it was just them mirroring you back to you. So I'm projecting all my loving goodness or whatever. I fell in love with my dang self. That's what that is.
Wow.
And so once I like realized, like, man, you know, little therapy helped me there too. But you know, once I realized that, I was like, you know what? One day I will find somebody that's wonderful, and all that love I was giving out and actually giving back to myself.
Reciprocity.
So I'm big on that now. If it ain't reciprocity, I'm straight.
Yeah.
And it's no more just wavering back and forth. Standing on what it is. I'm not twisting anything to have who I want in my life. When they show you who they are the first time, believe them. Believe them. When they show you who they are the first time, believe them. And, you know, and mask off. Like that first 90 days of me talking to somebody, I can see right through their mask. And I'll start flat out telling them, why don't you just be your real self? Like, who you fronting for?
Oh, I like that.
I don't care no more. I don't care anymore because it's like I spent so much of my life
tiptoeing,
trying to just not being my authentic self.
Right.
Because of I'm thinking I'm loving somebody or loving somebody, the wrong people and stuff like that. I was floating in cognitive dissonance world for a very long time. And that right there is something I refuse to do. So if actions, like if I say and I have to quit saying this myself. I want to lose weight because y'all be keeping candy all up in my purse. So I got to get it together. So, it's little things. That's how we still do that in everyday life, not even in relationships. I want to say this real quick. So it says some signs that you may be experiencing cognitive dissonance may include discomfort before making a decision. So if you got a big decision and you really have to you wavering back and forth about it, and so if you want a certain lifestyle, when you have this job that pays this job that pays that, but then you go with this one that pays the less money because it's all you've ever known and it's comfortable, but you said you want this lifestyle, but you're scared to go this way, that's cognitive. You done talked yourself into this because you're scared to leave. And
I walked that walk many times. Yeah. Lateral moves. Mm-hmm. That was you hit the hammer on the head.
Because I'm comfortable, I'm scared, so I'm going to justify it by every reason why I can't do it.
It's not about the money.
Yeah.
But the bills have to be paid.
Yeah. So but that's. We gaslight ourselves every day and all that. And then another one is feeling guilt over past decisions, And it was one point where I felt guilt, like, oh my God, I shouldn't have did this, that, and the other. Now I'm to the point in my life, you know what, that's a lesson learned.
Yes.
And I accept responsibility for the role I played in my foolishness. And guess what? Good. When you take responsibility, you're less likely to do it again.
That's great.
So taking responsibility, holding yourself accountable, helps you move forward and hopefully not make those decisions again. So the next one is shame and embarrassment regarding decisions or hiding said decisions from others as a result. So that's like if, say if you're talking to somebody who is toxic and all your friends like, girl, he ain't no good. Why you talking to him? Blah, blah, blah. And then you're saying, girl, I left him alone. But y'all still fooling around, but you just not telling them. And you ain't saying nothing because you don't want to hear what they got to say because you like, they going to call me stupid.
Yeah, so, you know. Yeah.
But what really is, it's like you're playing games with yourself. You know that it's not healthy. You're saying you want love, you want healthiness, you want this, that, and the other, but yet you're hiding it. But anytime you got to hide something or you have to make excuses for somebody's behavior, things like that, that's not for you.
That's not, and it's not healthy. And it's vice versa. If they have to hide you, you need to think about that.
Yeah. What that one meme, you ain't no roach. Don't let them, don't let them keep you in the dark. No. We gonna walk. My motto is, if you can't have me in the light, you can't have me in the dark. So,
that's great. I like that.
We gonna walk hand in hand, boo boo.
That's right.
We ain't walking at all. So
at all.
Let's see. The next one is justification or rationalization. Blah, 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 that was a mouthful. For the behavior, of the behavior you're doing. So you rationalize why you're not telling your friends, and you tell yourself, or some people even be so twisted. They just jealous. They jealous.
Well, you're justifying it now.
Yeah, but that's cognitive dissonance.
That's it. That's a great example.
Yeah. All them little crazy things we tell ourselves because we want what we want.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's trauma bonded and stuff like that, but it gets to that point because we want what we want. I want this fine man with all this money, so I'm gonna take whatever he got to give.
Or he's a good catch, so you're gonna put yourself out in front of everybody else, and the payoff isn't always great.
Yeah,
it's not, and it takes time. It takes time. But you said something that brings me back to someone that I was working with. And she knew that it wasn't good. She knew that it wasn't good. But that, like you said, that cognitive dissonance, continued in the relationship. And it didn't end well. She's still with us. But all the flags were there. All the signs were there. As I always tell the ladies that I work with, hindsight is 20/20. And it wasn't until recently that I really realized what that term meant. 20/20 is perfect vision when you look back, you can see clearly. You see all the red flags. You see all the love bombing. You remember. So that, again, is a part of the grieving process.
Yes.
Those memories come flooding back, and you need that time to sift through all that, you know, and getting out there trying to, you know, recover something over 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. It's going to take a while to heal from that. You can't be with someone 25, 30 years and then make it up in a year with your new sweetie, you know.
Oh, no,
or your
God.
new boo. But people want to fill in that void.
Yeah.
That void.
And so some people, they fill the voids with, they end up with sex addictions, drug addictions,
Gambling.
gambling,
Drinking.
food, some shopping,
Yeah.
you know. But the thing is that when you are alone and you're sitting and you're going through the stages of grief and you're just like really sitting with yourself, you forgive yourself within all of this. Then you learn to love and like yourself.
Yes.
And then once you start loving and liking yourself, you start trying to figure out, what things do I like? What hobbies do I want to do? What the world just opens up, because it's like I can do so much.
Yeah.
And it's okay to do it alone.
And
Like,
it was there all the time.
it was there all the
It
time.
was there all
The
the
best
time.
love is self-love.
Yes.
And people mistake, so this is what is a muffin burner for me. People mistake outer beauty for high self-esteem. I see girls, you know, they thinking because they got the weave down and they booty and they, you know, the BBLs and all that. I'm this, I'm that. But the things you're doing shows me that on the inside, your shell is empty and you don't love yourself, because you're putting on a show and parading yourself around. And if you have to keep telling people that your self-esteem is high and, you know, just trying to push these things, this narrative, you still got some healing to do.
Yeah.
Beauty is, yeah, you can dress yourself up and stuff, but then when you go home at night and wipe all that stuff off and you still don't like yourself, you got to start from the inside.
Absolutely.
Healing starts from the inside, and from there, everything grows.
Everything. I always use the example. I had a major surgery years ago, and I look like Frankenstein. You know, I look zipped up. And he said, you know, it on the outside it looked okay. It's pink. It's good, but he said the inside has to still heal. It was the inside that things were going to go on underneath the surface, so that the outer surface could heal. And I used that that image with my clients when we talk about healing. We got to go there. We have to dig there when you're ready at your own space. And I like to make my office a safe space, like a haven. I try to create where we can talk, you know.
You got a tree in there and everything.
Absolutely. And I got my lights now. I strung some lights, but and then I become transparent. I say, look here, I'm gonna be transparent for a moment. I'm crazy. No,
Jesus.
but no, I've been through what you've been through. I've walked your walk. You know, when I can relate to them, and then that's when it starts. I've had people come in, I'm coming back, I'm going to see you forever, Miss Berry. You know, that's when you become transparent, when you get down to their level and start allowing them to peel back those layers way back. And, you know, the pandemic really did it for us. When we were face to face, they were cordial and they would share, but it was something about that phone when we couldn't see face that they really started sharing.
Yeah.
No judgment. They couldn't see like my expression, like you did what? Okay.
The face
right
of shame. They
there.
didn't want you to see the face of
And
shame.
so much healing came forth during that time. So much.
And I'm glad they did change. They have telehealth. You can text now. Zoom if you want to, FaceTime if you, however you need to get your healing in, you can get your healing in. So I like all of those options. And just the healing journey period, like you said, you know, peeling away the layers of the onion.
Onion, peel it back.
And as you peel, you gonna cry.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yeah, there are people out there who don't cry. They're like, oh no, I'm not gonna cry, or I'm being strong. No, tears are healing.
Yeah.
You have to get all those toxins out your body.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that because when I work with women who have been trafficked, I noticed that the tears form around the rim, and them eyes be like bloodshot, but they won't drop. And what I've learned is that they saw things where they couldn't show emotion. So even bringing them from that
Yep.
trauma, they could show emotion. It could be death.
Yeah.
And so when I see that, then I try to, push back and let them be at their pace. And oftentimes it comes.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts about the Kleenex? When I was in undergrad, they said don't give them the Kleenex.
What?
Let them purge. Let them purge. Let it just pour. Other times it gets nasty and snotty. So
you
that's
can
why I
give
put the
people Kleenex?
Yeah, that's
What?
I mean, the Kleenex is there.
Yeah.
But I guess they're saying it kind of stops it. Like when someone really need to just keep
okay.
going.
Yeah.
And then if we give them the Kleenex, it's like we're saying, okay, now you can stop. So that, I've always kind of been on the bubble on that.
Yeah.
But if I see them little boogers stuck, then we switch up, okay?
So my thoughts about the Kleenex is put it out. No, okay. Let me back a little bit. I worked for MDOC for a long time. I had Kleenex in my cubicle because my first year I worked with men. I did not like working with the men in the city of Detroit. I was like, oh my God.
You were downtown?
I was on Algonquin. I was on the east side off Jefferson.
Okay.
I hated that because my clients, I helped them, but I got hit on so tough. I hated it.
You're a woman up in the man's world.
I hated it. I'm like, dude, you can't do nothing for me, okay? No. But I ended up with the female caseload. I loved it. Then when me and my cubicle, we having little mini sessions, and I was able to help so many people. And I know some people, they're like, I ain't giving nobody, don't cry in here, or, I'm not giving tissue. A lot of my coworkers felt like that, but I didn't, because my goal was, I had girls who were on my caseload that caught cases for their boyfriends who was selling drugs.
Yeah.
They fighting over a dude. Most of them people, welfare fraud, fighting over a dude, drugs. You may have a couple of you may have a couple of child abuse sprinkled in there or whatever, but for the most part, it's okay. But so tissue, yes, Felicia, get him the tissue.
Oh, I do. I mean, I was just wondering where we were, but absolutely, that was just one of those things that, it's always kind of stuck out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of crying.
But don't
just depending on who I talk to.
to say. For people to even, that's so cruel.
Why was it even a thing?
Yeah, why was it even a thing?
In human services. Right,
exactly.
In human services.
Yeah.
So, yeah. My technique has always been, as I said, it's washing your insides out.
Yeah.
A good cry, a good ugly cry.
Those are the best.
They are.
Where you puffy-eyed and you like, I can't go to work the next day. I can't even see straight.
Heaven forbid if it's on the job, oh my God. It's gonna give me about 15 minutes.
Yeah. I've had those days. But it's a lot. Just to have your mind played and toyed with. Mm-hmm. That is serious.
Yeah, it is.
It is, and it's hard to come back from. And everybody's like, oh, going no contact and all that stuff. It is real. You have to give space from, just like with a drug, you gotta step away. Mm-hmm. You cannot stay and be fraternizing with the person
you get high with.
Yes, and your person that was abusing you is a person you were getting a mental high with. So they were raising your dopamine levels up and down, playing with you.
Yeah.
And some people, you had said this earlier, some people know they're doing it and some people don't know that they're playing these games because that's just their normal and just
Right.
how they were raised and lived their life. They watch their whole family play these kind of games with people.
That's true.
So it's scary, but for the most part, most of these dudes know what they doing.
They know.
They know what they doing. Because, see, this what happens. I was in one of my relationships. I voiced some concerns over and over and over again. Finally, when I had enough, I'm going to change for real this time. That let me know that your ass knew what you was doing all these other times. So, no, I don't need you to change this time. Kick rocks.
Oh, God.
Kick
I'm going
rocks.
to change this time, God.
Yeah. Oh, and then when I say, remind the person they said it, I ain't say that. Gaslight somebody else, nigga. We ain't supposed to say the N-word, y'all. But no, it's like that right there. I knew things were, that was the me going back and forth. Like, I know something ain't right. I know something ain't right. And because I was rooted in my core beliefs and who I was able to break that a lot quicker than I had in the past. So
Okay,
yeah.
lessons learned.
Yes.
Boxes checked. I have a client who talks about checking the boxes, you know, to determine moving as you move forward. Because I always tell them, don't cut off the male race. They're not all like that.
Yeah.
I said they may not come in Denzel Washington format, but give them a chance. You know, give them a chance. Get past the outer person, and 6 months to a year,
Yes.
you want to see that person angry.
Yep.
You want to meet that person's family. I think we talked about this in the past. You want to know about the kids
Yep.
at some point in the game, you know, not 5 years down the line. Okay. You want to know, you know, what his views are. I mean, does he travel? Does he want to travel? Does he want kids or not? Okay, that's all about like you can treat it like an interview.
Yeah.
Just a long, drawn out interview, and you want to be around his family. You want to see how he interacts with the women in his family.
How's that mama relationship?
Right, and how's mama looking at you?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, my sister had a dear friend. His mother was beautiful. She took care of my sister and my mother.
Oh,
But I
wow.
mean, it was just she was a beautiful person. So my mom and my grandmother, they had a beautiful relationship. So you want to know how that mom is interacting with him and him interacting with his mom. You know, is his mom like on this pedestal? And is she taken away from the marriage, intervening in the marriage?
Well, so with the mom thing, you got to be careful too, though, because the mama is normally the one that creates the narcissistic son. So with that, you can have a boy who has a close and a enmeshed relationship with their mother, like they're too close. They put their mama before everybody, even a spouse. So you got to watch those mama boys, those kind of men.
Yes, indeedy.
So
And
they
they're
have a good
out
relationship,
there.
but it's unhealthy.
Exactly. And he
Yeah.
puts his mom before his wife and the family needs. That's a problem. That's a major. Our red flags ain't hanging out tonight.
Yeah.
But that's a
They are red
major federal red flag.
Yep. Here they go. But no, like, those are important questions to ask, because some men hate their mothers. They will end up taking it out on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And make sure that the guy has, make sure he has life skills. He has his own house, his own car, his own job, his own insurance. Make sure he has all those things that adults should have while they're out here adulting.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be running in, rescuing, fixing everything, and playing like you mama.
That's it.
He's going to resent you.
Yeah.
Because for one, you are now the masculine energy in the house.
Yeah.
And subconsciously, he feels less than a man because he can't come up to the level where a man's supposed to be.
Absolutely. You can't have two alphas.
You cannot. And a woman is forced, if a woman has to take care of everything, she is forced into being the masculine energy in the house.
Absolutely.
When a woman has to do everything, she's she's wearing the pants and the skirt. She operates more in masculine energy.
Yeah.
And a man, you have some men, I'm going to say this, a man who is whole and healthy will not be able to survive in a relationship, an environment where he is not allowed to operate as his true, authentic, masculine self.
That's
not
good.
to say masculine means that the gender roles is just the energy that he exudes, where he handles the business, he protects, he provides, those things like that.
Yeah.
And when the woman has to go out and be the provider, be the house, be the everything, for one, what do she need you for? You're not even a partner or a helpmate.
No.
And not to say she needs your money.
Bed warmer.
Yeah. And sometimes that ain't even good. So, but no, but what I'm saying, so if a woman, men like, oh, I want a feminine woman, give her something to be feminine
Yeah.
with, you know. Because if she has to worry about how the bill's gonna be paid and how everything is done, then it's like, dang, she don't have time to operating in softness.
Absolutely.
They're like, man, she's so masculine. Well,
Yeah.
hell, she done had to do everything,
Pump the gas. change
every
the
role,
oil,
you know.
PTA.
Cook the dinner, buy the dinner, earn the money for the dinner, take care of the kids, make all the doctor's appointments.
Right.
But
Step over you during the Lions game.
yeah, pick your dirty socks up when you could have picked them up yourself. Now, but anyway, triggered. No, I'm just playing. But no, seriously, like to have a healthy relationship, because we all operate in masculine and feminine energy at different times. So there are times when in the relationship, the woman can operate in masculine energy, but it's not where it's overbearing. Because like I said, I don't believe in gender roles. I believe in energy, but I don't believe in gender roles. I don't believe, because you said like the woman changing the oil, things like that. To me, I wouldn't consider that a gender role. That if a woman knows how to change the oil, she could be as feminine as can be. She can still change the oil.
She can come by. Tell her I'll give her when
Yeah.
I hit 70.
Come change my oil,
Yeah.
girl. But no, but
Call
it's
me.
like she can be that way. Like say for instance, one worked at an oil change place.
And a lot do now.
They do, and I
They're
love it. I get so
working.
excited when I see them. Like,
yes.
oh, girl. But when she's at home with her husband, she don't have to operate like that, because her husband is her helpmate. He's her
Yeah.
friend.
Right.
You know, he is being there for her. Like if she work more hours than he does, she not worried about coming home and have to cook dinner, take care of the kids, do all that stuff. He done already cooked dinner. He like, baby, I know you tired.
Yeah.
And it ain't even got nothing to do with gender roles. It's just how you are supposed to be with your mate. And there are times when men, I'm sorry, I want a man that floats in masculine and feminine energy. I don't want nobody that's just this hard man all the time.
A man's man.
Yeah, I want somebody who can be emotional and compassionate and empathetic when I need it. I don't want somebody that's like, dry your tears, girl, stop it. I don't want that. I may have moments where I'm like, I'm not feeling good and I want to be baby. Some men won't baby. They were like, hey, baby, get up and go get you some Alka-Seltzer. Oh, we only have 8 minutes left. So, guys, we only have a couple minutes left, but we have a couple of announcements to make. So, Felicia is going to share an announcement, and it is it's a good okay announcement. I don't know how to word that. How do you word that, Felicia?
It's a good okay.
A good okay. Go ahead.
I like it. We're all into our ebonics. Okay. Well, yes. There's no other way to say this. I've been scripting in my mind how I would say this, but I am pleasantly going on a journey. Based on the book that I had written, Delight Thyself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of thine heart. Well, I'm there. I'm definitely there. And I'm going to be on a journey for the next 6 to 8 weeks. And I will be out of the podcast until the new year. But it's a great journey. It's a bucket list journey. And me and Bobby talked in depth. We laughed, we cried, we voiced our opinion. And, I was perplexed because so many things were happening. Not only did he give me the desires of my heart, but even the podcast wasn't something I asked for. So sometimes he just throwing little things, and so that's what happened here. And so it's not goodbye. It's just so long. I'm taking a little lull here, but I'll be back in January and better. And I think Bobby will be ready to pop by then, okay? Because she's been sworn to secrecy. So
I'm gonna let you share your own. No, I'm not gonna share. I'm gonna let you share that with the world, and yeah.
So,
I may decorate for it to help
okay.
you
Oh
out,
my
but I'm gonna
God.
let you share your good news on your own. I ain't gonna do that.
Thank you. And again, tonight was fantastic.
Yes.
I think we topped it tonight.
Yeah. No, tonight was fun. Even though we had technical difficulties, it was still fun. So, guys, we're still gonna come on. I'm still gonna come on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. And I will have special guests with me every week until Felicia returns. And next week, so if y'all didn't know, well, I think I have said this. I had started my own podcast, Serendipitously Bobby, and I started that, and then this happened, so I had to regroup. So what I'm going to do is I am going to start introducing myself here as in Serendipitously Bobby, and I may have a couple guests here and there from my other podcast here. But mine was still about the healing journey. So just to keep both my things going here, you may see a little crossover, but it's still the Life Essentials podcast. It just may be different topics than just the domestic violence. So, but you'll still enjoy it. You'll still love all the guests. So with that said, I want to, because we only have 4 minutes left, I want to tell you guys about Miss Cynthia Crawford. She will be our guest next week, next Thursday, and we are going to talk about authenticity. And she is the owner and founder of Authentic Existence. So I want you guys to join us next Thursday at 7 p.m. We're going to be live on YouTube and Facebook, and we'll have our special guest, Miss Cynthia Crawford, joining us. So that's something cool. And then, like Felicia said, she's going on her journey. She's going to be back January the 4th, and she will share her surprise with everyone. So with all that being said, I just want to say, thank you guys for rocking with us this is our 14th episode.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
so time is like
It's
flown
flying.
by. Yes. So thank you guys for rocking with us. Oh, and I do have one announcement. I forgot to put the flyer up. Sorry, y'all. Saturday, I will be doing a workshop for the, let me get my little flyer real quick. Yeah, I'm tripping, y'all. I'm tripping. I done had a lot on my plate now. I'm tripping here. So let me find it. So Saturday from 12 to 4, the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority is having a empowerment fair. We're going to be it's like a domestic violence awareness healing empowerment fair. So from 12 to 4 at Wayne County Community College, and it is in downtown campus, 1001 West 4th Street, and I am going to be facilitating a workshop, and it is going to be called Reclaiming My Power. So I'll be doing that workshop. And then we have sound bowl healing. We have some self-defense classes. We have people can come in. The guests, everything is free. The guests can come in and have their makeup done. Just a whole day of just healing. And we have a special guest also coming in. It's a political guest who is making some changes to help improve the laws for regarding domestic violence and intimate partner violence. So it's going to be a great Saturday. So if you guys aren't busy, come out Saturday 12 to 4, Wayne County Community College, to Curtis L. Is that Levry?
Ivy.
Ivory? Oh, that's an I. It's the downtown campus, y'all, okay? So hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. I know, Alicia, you said you were coming. I know you watching. So I'll see you there, Alicia, because I know you said you were coming. And Toya, you said you was coming too. I said, I got your
Toya's
text.
watching.
Toya is. She said, oh, y'all live. I see you. But so, guys, you'll see Felicia back on January 4th, and you will see me next week at on the 2nd at 7 p.m. with Miss Cynthia Crawford from Authentic Existence. So, good night.
See you in the new year.
Toodles.